and welcome to my channel. I'm the Angry Simmer, and today we're building my dream home in the new Cats and Dogs expansion. This lot, oh my lord, this lot. It's the one with the sailboats behind it. You walk down to the little pier. You can see it a little bit there. As soon as I saw it, I just fell in love with it. I think I saw it on Hatsie's channel when she was doing some of her builds when she got the early release code. And I was just like, oh, that's it. That's where I want to live. It's amazing. So I have my sim self and my family with my dogs and my cats in there that we did yesterday. And yeah, I love it so much. So what I'm struggling with here is the floor plan that I was building off of that has just the way that it should be, the house should be laid out as far as how my husband and I think it should be, has an upstairs instead of a downstairs. And I was trying to do that, even though I know if we ever built it, we would just put it as a basement because we live in Missouri where there's more often basements than there are that's kind of a lie because there's a lot of 2 stories here too. But we're lucky enough to be in an area where you can build a basement for safety. And I just feel better when there's a basement. Whenever, funny story, when I was in college and staring down, student loans and things like that, and a tornado warning would go off when I was living with my dad, I would be in my bedroom in a bunk bed because I'm a grown up. No, because I shared a room with my younger sister. I would be in that bed and he would come in and be like, okay, you need to come down and get in the basement. Everybody's here. Like, because my aunt and uncle for a little while were living in a trailer while they saved up money to buy their house. And they would have to come over to our house or my grandparents' house when stuff like that happened. And so, so they were like, your cousins are in the basement. Come on, you've got to go down there. And part of me, because I just don't sleep very well, when I got to sleep, I was like, nope, I'm not getting up. If it's my time, it's my time. And my dad would literally drag me out of the bed. He was just so annoyed with me and just be like, come on. And then, further into college, whenever I was thinking about the student loans that I had to pay for, I was like, just let it take me. Yeah. Anyways, but, so, and besides that, attics are kind of a crazy, in my opinion, attic and second story homes are kind of a crazy waste of money. And I cannot believe I did not notice that I didn't paint that roof. Anyways, yeah, so to me, like heating costs and everything like that with attics and upstairs, they're just insane because you have to force the air up and it takes more energy. With basements, they self-cool and they stay about the same temperature all year long if they're completely underground, which this one would be. The house we live in now has kind of a walkout basement, and I don't really think there's heating and AC down there because there's not you can't see vents in the ceiling and you don't see vents on the floor because it's concrete. We were going to put down hardwood that's upstairs, but we decided we're going to go with epoxy now because it's cheaper. So if you guys are looking to buy 300 square feet of dark hardwood, let me know because I've got it for you. That sounds a little nasty, actually. Anyways, moving on from that. Yeah, so I really like this floor plan. I found it on Pinterest, of all things, of course. And the only thing I don't really love about it, well, you know what? I say that, but I'm still pretty cool with it. So in the front, it has a separate living room and kitchen or dining room, which I like. I like that. But it also has a family room off to the side of the kitchen. And I guess it's just because it feels like you don't flow into the living room. You kind of walk naturally into the dining room area because you have to turn either way to get into what I made into like a TV room and then an actual formal sitting room. But even now I'm like, you know what? That works out really well though, because we have a pretty big family. I'm the oldest of 4 or 5. Because I'm having a brain moment. And then my husband has 2 little sisters and 2 little brothers. And, I have a bunch of cousins. My grandparents had 3 kids and they all had at least 3 children. So, Yeah, so my grandparents are getting older. If you can hear the howling, that's my dog saying, "Hey, stop playing with your video and come play with us." Anyways, um, but so we have a big family. My grandparents are in their 70s, and just the other day, I was at my parents' house before we went to visit my niece and nephew, dropping off my husband's Christmas present at my parents' house so they could hide it for me. And my grandpa was helping, and my mom started asking, well, what are you doing? What's grandma cooking for Thanksgiving this year? Because my mom never gets to go because she works on holidays typically because she's, I don't know exactly how to describe her job. She's worked at the same nursing home for 20 years and, she started out as CNA or a med passer, I'm sorry. And then she does CNA, she does charge nurse work, all kinds of stuff. She's incredible. That's all you need to know. Anyways, but so she has to work this Thanksgiving, and she works, she gets up at 4. I think she works 6 a.m. I really want to be able to use that shower. Oh my God. I really do. She works 6 a.m. to 3:30. And so my grandparents do Thanksgiving, quote unquote, dinner at 11:30, even though it's always done by 10 a.m. So it's more like holiday brunch, and that's every single holiday, mind you. Anyways, I say that to say that I was over at my parents' house, and my mom is trying to give my grandfather a turkey from her work because she gets a free one. And my grandpa replies with, "I don't even know where I'm eating Thanksgiving this year." So it's been this thing a couple years ago. My grandparents like to say they decided it, but it was really their kids, and they were kind of looking around and saying, "Hey, mom and dad are getting too old to do this. Why don't one of us take over it?" And both of my aunts, so I've got one aunt that's their biological child and one aunt that is their married in child. And I'm struggling figuring out where to put that bathtub. By the way, this bathroom is goals. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. But anyways, it also took me a really long time to decide on what type of flooring to put in the bathrooms. And thank you, Pinterest. Anyways, so ever since then, it's been kind of this little bit of chaos of everybody trying to decide where we're going to eat. And because the big problem is my one aunt, the biological one, she has a lot of cats and dogs and kids, and there's just a lot going on, and her kids are the youngest because she's the youngest. So it's hard to do it at her house because there's just so many bodies going around in one place when you're trying to organize. And the other one lives in a subdivision and is just kind of more private and can get stressed out a little bit easier, and just has less help to do all that work because her kids are the oldest. Because she's actually is actually the same age as my dad, who's the middle child, but she married the oldest son. Anyways. They were cute. They're high school sweethearts, got married at like 18. And they made it work. They're still married today, 4 kids that are amazing. I have great cousins all around. But anyways, so then the big problem at the biological aunt's house is when she took over, for that year, she decided to do it at like 3:00, but that threw everybody off because we've been doing this at 11:30 for the last how many years? Oh, this bug. I thought it was just because I needed to save because my game had been on too long. But no, my CC wasn't updated yet. So I finally just gave up and, decided to use game CC. Yeah, and the frames were working, but the beds themselves, like that you laid down on, weren't. So I've got to check and see if that's fixed because Harry mentioned on her video the other day that all of her CC was fixed and we mostly have the same CC. Because I do a lot of going to her downloads. Anyways, I struggled with putting a carpet down in there for some reason. I don't know why. By the way, that size down thing, oh, magic. Magic, that new tool. Love it. And I also really love those lights from the Cats and Dogs expansion. Those are super useful. Anyways, long pause. So now that I'm not the oldest grandchild, by the way, I'm the 4th, but I have technically the biggest house out of all of the grown adult grandchildren. So it would make sense for me to do it at my house, but I can't cook. I can make vegetarian food. I can make vegetables. I can't make a turkey. And that would mean that someone would have to either come to my house to make the turkey, or they would have to make a turkey at their house and then bring it here. And so that doesn't really solve any of the problems. And I'm still one of the kids. Let me be a kid. No, I could not for the life of me figure out how this was supposed to go. I don't know why. I struggled with that island. Anyways, so why was this house here. There's a whole reason I talked about my family. I started thinking that this is actually a pretty good layout for like having Thanksgiving dinner and things like that. Cause you have the kitchen that's open, you have a formal dining room. So like the island and the kitchen could be the kids' table. And then, you have the formal dining room upstairs. There's plenty of places for people to sit, because the last thing you want when you're making dinner is people all up in your business. I will find a way to use that wallpaper. So help me God, I will find it. Anyways, it just wasn't in this kitchen. I think what I'm going to do is going to be like in Pixel Playground's Brentwood Estate, where she has two different textures on the wall behind like where the stove is. I think that's going to work out the best. Did anybody else notice there's no water bowl? Like, I could not find a water bowl to save my life on this thing. So if you know where it's at, leave it in the comments for me. Oh, here's me putting in a cat tower for Harley. I actually have one that looks just like that. So we got this cat tower on jostmain.com. It was originally like $265 and we got it for $65. So I was pretty happy about that. Also, on these things, Maxis, if you're listening, if you're going to put a color swatch on it, because it's modders, I'm not going to be mad at, because that's not their full-time job. But Maxis, if you're going to make a small item like that carpet, please don't, when you're changing the colors, have it block the thing so you can't see what it's doing, especially when it changes shape. If it was just that it changed the color, like if it was different colors of that bone, because that's what I wanted, then that'd be one thing. But because it's the same, it's not the same item after you change the color, the color thing can't cover it. It's just ridiculous. So fix that, please. Anyways, wow, those long pause, even 5 times speed up. I love these trees, by the way, and I will use some of the other trees that came with this game. I think they're incredible, and I love that little hint at seasons coming next. So thanks for that, Maxis. But yeah, this was just not the lot for that beautiful white tree. But I want boxwoods and dogwood trees on my future home lot so bad. Oh, they're just so beautiful. And I appreciate them being in the game. So there's me not complaining at you, Maxis. Oh, honeys. I love that there's flowers in the game that I didn't have to put in like from modding, that has that much variation of color and beauty. Also, I did not realize that my fall mod was still in the game. So there's like a few bushes and things that were changed still. But yeah, I cannot remember where the fall mod is. I need to look it up. I think what I'm going to do is go, because I've got it linked in, most of my videos, and I've got it on my notepad. I think I'll go and re-download it, and then I'll be able to see where it's at so I can take it out, because I love the fall mod. I love it, and I like playing in all the other worlds with it, but I like to see how the textures and colors work in this new world first before I start modding everything. This is me trying to make a circle for the fire pit. Yeah. Somebody teach me how to do that, please. Please. Anybody? Help. Bueller? Wow. Sorry. So I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I think it's Thomas Sanders. So I found, the Vine guy, Thomas Sanders. My husband showed me yesterday this video that he had made that was brain and heart on coffee. And that's kind of how Coffee and I have been interacting lately, is just like, I feel sluggish. It's time to wake up. I'm going to drink some coffee. Does nothing for my brain, but my heart's like, ah, yeah, that's how I feel most of the time. But it's worth it, because every once in a while I got that boost of energy. Actually, there's these like V8 fusion fruit juice, vegetable juice, things that I drink that's for energy. And those work great. I don't feel crazy hyper or anything. My heart doesn't feel like it's going to pound out of my chest. Which I had a scare once at work. Like I chugged one Starbucks, like a venti cup size. Oh, I should have made this work. You'll see in a second. It looked so cool, but then I wanted a seating area here. So this really cool CC grill got moved away. But anyways, I was at work at CarMax. I was walking around. I was tired that day, so I drank a Starbucks on the way there, 2 small cups of coffee that the workplace provided, and then a cup or 2 of hot cocoa, or like I'd mix the hot cocoa packets into the coffee to make my what I called the CarMax mocha. Yeah. Anyways, I know I have that tile that's on the back of that hood range on here somewhere, but I could not find it. Ugh. Anyways, and so I walked over to like get a truck out for somebody, and it felt like I was having a heart attack and that I was about to pass out. It was insane. And so I called my mom stupidly, because ever since then because I have a coffee habit. I'm not going to lie. I drink it every single day. She was just not pleased with me at all. And every time I have coffee or anything caffeinated now, she's just like, that better be decaf. That better be caffeine free. And she just terrifies me. Like she's going to beat me right on the spot. Like I am 26 years old and I am still afraid of getting my butt whooped by my mother. But you know what? I bet she would. I still think she would. I'm not too big for her to beat. That sounds like something my mother-in-law would say to my her sister-in-laws. Which last night was fun. So we went and saw Thor Ragnarok. Amazing. I really enjoyed it. My husband was a little annoyed because he's a purist when it comes to movies and comic books. So he hated the Harry Potter movies because he really likes Harry Potter. He read the books. He could read them to you in his sleep with his eyes closed. Like he loves those, and he loved all the comic books. And so like on the way to where I'm about to tell you, he was telling me how Planet Hulk should have been in there and how they messed with some of the characters and all these things. And he was annoyed. And my dad, who's the same way, can like separate a Marvel movie versus Marvel comics because he knows like they're not going to get them right. But he enjoyed it. He was telling us it's the best one, and he wanted to talk about it, and he just couldn't because he didn't want to spoil it for us because he's a good dad. But yeah, my husband was just so annoyed because it's, Planet Hulk did not go the way the movie was showing it. And I was like, well, of course it didn't. This is a Thor movie, not Planet Hulk. And, they haven't even at all shown Black Whisper or any of the other characters that are involved in that. And how are they going to, spoiler alert, how are they going to kill off all of those superheroes when they're making money hand over fist on them? No, they just can't do it that way. And so, anywho, but we did feel like they kind of like left it open for sort of a Planet Hulk situation. But then at the same rate, like, I don't know, because, Hulk, is part of the revolution. He's actually like important in it. And the lady that is the Red King's right-hand woman, she died in this movie. So you can't have the Hulk story where he falls in love with her as she's pregnant and then she dies from the bomb. But anyways, so I enjoyed it, really loved it. But like 20 minutes into it, I feel my phone vibrating in my pocket a million times. And I thought I had turned off the volume before the movie even started. Turns out I just turned it down. And so I kept hearing a little bit of ring. So I looked in my pocket, and it's his oldest younger sister. And she just keeps calling and calling and calling and calling. And we're like, these people don't know how to text. Good Lord. So then she starts calling my husband. And I'm like, your sister has called me 4 times in the last 10 seconds. And, and I would have thought a teenager would have been like, oh, I should probably just text them. But she wasn't using teenager logic. She was using, my mom's going to the hospital logic. So my mother-in-law she thought she was having a seizure, but I explained to her, you don't just have a seizure. You have a history of seizures. You have something that causes it. But I thought it was like a medical, like her medicine was interacting or something, because she's lost a bunch of weight and she's still on the same dosage as she was when she was a lot bigger woman. Or, it could have been a panic attack, all these different things, because she was freaking out because she went into AFib, and but then she went out of it, and she's like, that just doesn't happen. I'm gonna have to restudy AFib, and they're saying it's genetic and all these different things, and she goes, am I just gonna be in AFib? Am I gonna need to be treated all the time for that? And they're like, you're not in AFib, you're fine. We don't have anything to treat. But she also has really bad migraines. And so basically what happened was I was told that she fainted. She was shaking all day, and then she just collapsed after brushing my sister-in-law's hair. But she told us in the room that she'd gotten overheated. And, this storage room. I thought this was really cool. It could also be the most epic closet ever. Anyways. But so she told us that she got too hot, and then she got too cold really too fast. And then she just got sweaty, and her head started pounding, and she passed out. Or she hit the ground. She said she never lost consciousness. And to me, that sounds like something that happened to me whenever I was a kid. And it was just a vagus nerve issue where you get up way too fast, and then your body temperature has gone through a shift too quickly, and your vagus nerve is like, nope, got to shut down. It's basically like rebooting. But so they gave her a bunch of stuff to calm her down and get her to relax and fall asleep and get rid of her headache. And that's all I heard. That's all we knew, because it was like 10:30, and they gave her a bunch of medicine that's going to knock her out. So, and of course she got a lecture from the very nice nurse about how she needs to take her medicine the way it's prescribed, not when she feels like she needs it. And that was hilarious, because I was like, preach, because I've been telling this woman this forever. Anyways, but yeah, so that was our eventful night. I was very happy that I preloaded today's video, Monday's video, yesterday when I got done recording it, because I wanted to try that out, and it's a lot easier. It's a lot better if I can do that. I was just worried about being able to share it on different things, but yeah, I still woke up at like 7:15, but I didn't have that like urgency where I had to come into the office, get this uploaded, and then get going on taking the dogs outside. I went, and because it takes a while to upload the videos. There's something going on with the paint on that or the lighting on that Range Rover. By the way, I don't have one. It's just the closest thing to my Explorer. I would like a Range Rover. Actually, that's a lie, because I sat in one once when I worked at CarMax, and it was super duper hot that day, and we got into it, and it took it forever to cool off. The AC is horrible in those things. But like in all the Fords that we sat in, because I'm a big Ford fan, the AC worked perfectly fine. Like, it was instantly cool in there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick with Ford. I've always only driven Fords anyways, so I'm a Ford girl. What can I say? Speaking of Fords, the GT, I want to drive one so bad. Captain Sparkles is getting one, and I want to be his friend so I can just see it. I just want to see one in person. I'm not a huge car person. I really like classics, but there's something about the Ford GT, especially this year's Ford GT, that's... By the way, this IKEA closet that I just made, love that. That's closet goals too. I've been watching a lot of Patricia Bright. I'm sorry. This CC bed worked though. I don't know what's going on there. That's so annoying. Why does this one work but none of my other ones? I threw this in there because my niece and nephews, but they're getting too big to share a room. I mean, it would be for one night if they were here at any point, but yeah, see, the frames work, but none of the bed pieces do. So Here's me still trying to find at least one that worked, and I was going to put it in all the rooms, and I finally give up and just use like one of the cats and dogs beds, which that is really pretty. I really like that. And I kind of like the idea because I wouldn't put brand new furniture in guest rooms. You know, these are rooms that aren't going to be used very often. So I'm just imagining that that's like our old, you know, living room or bedroom set. Sorry. Yeah, that's really cute. I really like that. I don't think I would actually put a hardwood bench in the basement for my guests to sleep or to use when they're watching TV in there. But it's still really cute, and I thought it looked really awesome with this room. I did notice, like, after I went to go and take the screenshots, I thought I did, like, very little decorating in the guest rooms, but it's, like, the entire house. And I will, to be fair, I just don't put a lot of decorating in the rooms, especially I wouldn't in my own home. Like, if you walked around my house right now, it's kind of bland, to be honest. And I think it's because I've lived in so many houses where you couldn't hang up anything. You couldn't like nail stuff into the wall. And it's just kind of drilled in my head like that. You just can't do it. Like old lawn furniture there. So cute. Yeah. And besides that, I just like decluttered stuff. Like the house is a mess right now, and I cleaned it before we left to go see my niece and nephews, but just getting back in. By the way, Peacemaker, those curtains have not worked ever since you made them, just letting you know. Anyways, yeah, we got back and like stuff just gets thrown everywhere, and it's all of a sudden a mess again, and it just kills me because I'm so OCD and I'm such a germaphobe, and I want everything to be spotless all the time. And it's just, ugh. But yeah, so I actually end up putting just a lot of storage into this house because that's honestly what I care about is everything in its place. Everything has a place, you know. But it could use a lot more decorations. I do love that picture. And would love to see, you know, more like that, more swatches from that CC creator. So I'm going to have to look up the name of that one and then check back on their website and see if they've made more, because those are just so pretty. And they're totally something that I would add, because my house right now has a gold fireplace cover, which I hate, but gold is in right now, so I'm kind of working with it. But the whole house, like the doorknobs and like the pieces of glass in our front door are gold, and I don't like it because it feels like it was very 80s to me, even though the house was built in 2005. I don't understand. It sounds like I'm losing my voice. Holy crap. I must be getting sick. I had, like, allergy-wise, it was not a good trip to Indiana. There's something about that state that I'm just allergic to, I guess, because I was itchy and my nose was running the whole time and my face was dry and my throat was dry and not good times as far as that. But I didn't care because I got to see my niece and my nephew and my little brother and sister-in-law, so it was a good time. And I got to eat at this place called Cheddar's, which my husband has always been saying is just horrible. And then we got there and I'm like, this is so nice. I was expecting like Golden Corral style place because my parents are also pretty cheap. And we get there and it's like a nice dinner restaurant. Our screenshots are coming up though. So if you like what you saw, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and let me know that you liked it. And leave me some comments. You know, it can't just be me and Ann talking on the comments the whole time, although very lovely conversations every time. Sorry about the like nausea-inducing there. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching again. I hope you have a lovely day and enjoy the screenshots because I love this song. Bye.